and tomorrow is all about members. Okay. FYCSP.
First year
Sophia, woo! All right, somebody's excited. This is one of my favorite programs. So I am also very excited. First year chapter success plan. I never say FYCSP. That's harder, but I write FYCSP because I don't like to type out the whole thing. But first year chapter success plan. How many of you have heard of it? I'm waiting for the translation. There it goes. Okay, yes. All right. Well, good. I'm glad you've heard of it. Like I said, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to tell you what it's all about, why we designed it the way we designed it, because it is a little different. And then I'll give you a couple of tips on how to implement it if you have not yet done that. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
You guys excited?
Yes.
We're going to take it home today for the rest of the day. What is the first year chapter success plan? So first, let's review. It's part of the launch process. Sort of, right? So we think it's part of the launch process. However, we didn't talk about it on launch day because it's truly a support plan. It's the whole first year of a chapter's life. It also includes oh, wow. I didn't know it did that. Whose is this? This is great. So I thought it was a pointer. It is not. This is amazing. I need to get one. Okay, so it technically starts here. The first year chapter success plan starts here, because it starts with the first 5 weeks, but it continues to the first year, okay? So, also as a quick reminder, what has happened so far for this chapter. So they have chartered, and when they charter, just as a quick reminder, we induct the members, we have a celebration, we prepare for the learning phase. They have already been assigned the Member Success Program. As soon as you click the button in BNI Connect to charter a chapter, right? It, within 24 to 48 hours, should assign them the Member Success Program. If you have that function in your country. We can talk about that offline if you don't, and we'll work on that for you. But not sure how you are assigning it, but that's how we do it, and we recommend that it's done that way as well. Steve's going to talk about the Member Success Program tomorrow, so we'll give you an update on that. And then they also can get BNI Connect training. So let's talk about why. So, like I said, there's a couple of things that we do differently here that I even had to change my mindset about. I became a member in 2005, and obviously, I'm very passionate about BNI. My Member Success Program, my first year as a member, I went 3 times. It was in person, it was 3 hours, and I went 3 times, okay? Because I really wanted to absorb all this information, and I loved it. But it was new to me, it was very new. And maybe I'm just kind of a learning geek, or I'm not sure what it was in my mind, but I really wanted to go again, and keep learning. Even though it was the same thing I learned the last time, it seemed to sink in a little bit differently because I was in a different place in my first year. So I learned more as I attended. All right. So why then do we divide it up through a whole year of learning? First of all, have any of you seen this before? Yes? So members think they're buying a BNI meeting and maybe buying some friends, right? They're buying some referrals, hopefully. But they think that's all. But we know that we want to make sure that we are providing a positive, structured, professional referral marketing program. It's a whole program. It's not just the meeting. So how do we impress upon them that there's a lot to learn and that there's more than just that meeting? There's a ton more. You've seen this before, I'm sure, or at least you know of these things. You may not have seen the iceberg, but key skills workshops, member accelerator, leadership team training, books, one-to-ones, power teams, so much stuff for them to learn. So let me ask you, can you learn all of this in one training? No.
No.
Yeah.
Can you learn all of this in a week?
No.
How about 3 weeks?
No.
No. So why is it then that we, I will include myself in that, why is it that we try to teach them all of this in one member success program? Why are we continuing to do this? I ask you that. I ask you to think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute. So, what's super important in the very first couple of weeks in this chapter, if you're using the launch plan, and you put this chapter together in how many weeks? 6. Good. Good. 6 weeks. If you put this chapter together in 6 weeks, do they know each other? Not very well. Some of them might because they invited their great colleagues and so forth. But really, as a 25, 35 member chapter, they don't know each other very well yet. So we need to help them with that. We need to help them to work as a team, to all row. I heard the dragon boat reference. That's perfect. We need to get them rowing in the same direction and working with each other to do this. They need to work as a team, and we need to help them to understand how a chapter works. So they have seen, in our process, they have seen a showcase chapter, and they're really excited. They're really excited. They've seen all the camaraderie. They've seen the referral passing, and they're ready to go. We don't want to stop them at all, and I'm not suggesting that we do. But what I will suggest is that we teach them in very quick, small pieces. And we continue that journey through many, many months. Okay? All right. Because we can't teach them everything they need to know in those first 5 weeks either. So we're going to stop trying, because learning is a journey. Learning is a journey. Yes. We will stop overwhelming them, okay? And we're instead going to teach them the most important things first, and the remaining items will be taught in the order of need. Does this sound good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wanted to give you the backstory because I believed before that it was okay to try and teach members everything. And I have learned it really is not. It's unfair. It confuses them, it overwhelms them, and all they really want to do is grow their business. We do have to get them to be able to run a successful chapter before they can even be successful members. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay, all right. Let's jump in. We are going to build knowledge, and we're going to build a lot of repetition. So the first year chapter success plan guidebook. It is, I'm going to show it to you after I go through the whole program, and then I'll show you the actual guidebook itself. However, it's also been uploaded to the chat already. Okay. I want to impress upon you that you can find this in the Academy only, at this moment, only if you're an executive director, an area director, or a national director. Okay? However, as soon as I can get to it, I promise you, I'm going to drop the entire contents, every single education moment, every single PowerPoint, everything you need will be put into the certified trainer category that I showed you on Monday. So it will be in the Academy for you, but I need you to promise me something. And if you are not an executive director or an area director, regional director, then you are getting permission first before you use this. Okay? All good? Okay. Excellent. Now, let's take a quick look. So, month one. So this is literally the first 5 weeks of the chapter's life. You push the button, they're chartered as a chapter, they've gotten member success program, they may not even know how to get on the academy yet. So we run through the first 5 weeks. It's full contact sport here. The support director, the launch director, maybe the executive director, your national trainers, your local trainers, someone is there running this program for the first 5 weeks. They run the meeting. The chapter does not. It is a full 5 weeks of education. So we start out with week 1. We welcome them. It's a celebration, not huge, but it's definitely a celebration to let them know we're so happy that they're a brand new chapter. This is what it's all going to look like. We set forth some expectations. They of course get to do introductions, but these are not 60-second introductions or weekly presentations yet. They don't even know each other yet. They're probably not sure how to ask for a referral yet. We're going to teach them, but they don't know yet, and that's okay. So we're starting out slow. At this point, we might need to share what the meeting schedule looks like, logistics. Would you believe that sometimes after people have become a member at this point, and that maybe there were number 23, 24, and 25, I don't know if this is just the US, but sometimes they didn't know that we meet weekly?
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not meeting weekly yet. They haven't started as a chapter. So there's some things we need to kind of level set and set the stage for them, set the expectations. We introduce them to all the local websites. We introduce them to the academy. Where are they going to find all this information? There's more. This is a very high level. Okay? So that is week 1. We move to week 2, and we really want to help them with building a business infrastructure. We know that the business infrastructure is a BNI meeting, but we wanted to make all of these titles something that appealed more to the member. Okay? And that goes for not just these weeks, but also every single month. So you'll see what I mean. There's a little bit of, we could call them hidden elements, and I'll get to those. So week 2 is building a business infrastructure. What that means to us is that we are explaining all of the leadership team roles. We are doing a one-to-one mini workshop because remember, they don't know each other yet. So we have to teach them how to have a one-to-one. We're also going to talk about the websites again. Repetition for adults is really important, so we're going to do that. Week 3. What's the title of week 3? Your personal strategy for success. I want to go to that meeting. Who wants to go to that meeting?
Yeah.
I want a personal strategy for my success. Fantastic. Now we start to introduce some B&I stuff, right? So visibility, credibility, and profitability, the power of one, and tracking contributions, because some of them have been doing this for a little while longer, maybe members 5, 6, and 7, right? They're in a power team together already. They don't even know it, what a power team is, but they're referring to each other already. So we don't want to miss those. We want to make sure we include that. Week 3 is also about weekly presentations. Just a quick mini workshop. They've been introducing themselves, but now we want to let them know how to do what a weekly presentation looks like. They've seen it at a showcase chapter. Now we get to teach them how to do it. Week 4, this is the optimal meeting structure. So now we're really getting into the meat of how are they going to run their own chapter meeting. So we teach them all about that and go into the meeting agenda in detail. And then we also talk about feature presentations to warm them up to doing feature presentations. Who in here thinks that a feature presentation is one of the most important things a brand new member needs to know how to do? A couple of you think? When we designed this, we thought that building relationships and running the chapter and their weekly presentations were a little bit more important in the beginning than the feature. So we're putting a little more emphasis on those first, but we still do a little bit of the feature presentation. That's why it's in week 4, right? Mind you, remember, they already have access to the member success program, and brand new members are really excited. And they get the email that says, you've been assigned the member success program, and what do? They do it, right? These aren't our old jaded members, I should say seasoned. These aren't our seasoned members. These are our brand new excited members, and they've taken the member success program. So a lot of this is becoming a repetition. They've heard it once before, they're going to hear it again. But now you have a director explaining it to them. Okay. Week 5 is the dress rehearsal. Week 5 is the dress rehearsal. So they're preparing because week 6, they're going to run their own meeting. Okay? So also in week 5, the new leadership, so because it's a dress rehearsal, that new leadership team is running that meeting and running the agenda. The director is there, or the trainer, or whomever you have directing this meeting for them. They're doing it, but you can have someone there, so they are making sure that everyone stands up when it's their time to present. The little things that make a really good meeting, and making sure they're not missing those things. It's practice. Are they going to make mistakes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Are they going to make mistakes on week 6?
Yes.
100% they are. Is it okay?
Yes.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's okay.
You're a baby.
That's right. That's right. But they might have visitors. Do the visitors know that the leadership team made a mistake? No. It's still going to be one of the best networking meetings they've ever attended. So it's all okay. They're learning and learning and learning as they go. Okay. Now, in the guidebook, there's a lot more that goes into the 5 weeks. And we literally have step by step for every single of the 5 weeks. We have the email that gets sent out before and after the meeting. We have the slide deck already built for you. We have the email, it's already scripted out and says which pieces you need to send with the follow-up email. It's already scripted and ready. So that's the first month of the chapter success plan. There's also, if you'll notice, because you know that, where are we? Leadership team roles are explained here. And so in between, just for your information, in between weeks 1 and 2 is where the support director and the ED and the area director are working together with the launch director who knows these people to figure out who's going to be holding their roles in the chapter. Okay? And that's also in the materials for you, so it walks you through that process. So we good with weeks 1 through 5? Question? Yes.
2 questions. I do have the book, but I haven't read the whole lot, and I can't remember if it had timings as to how long these take. Is that the usual 90 minutes?
It is the usual 90 minutes. I would say they're probably they're great. There's grace time in there. They're not scripted to be longer than that.
And visitors, yes or no?
Great question. I'm going to ask the audience. What do you all think about visitors during this process? Who thinks yes, bring visitors? There's only 5 hands up. Okay, so the rest of you think no visitors. I think it really depends on your region. I've heard arguments for both sides. One of the arguments for allowing visitors is, why stop the momentum? Why stop the momentum? That's one of the biggest reasons why people are allowed. And the other side would say, we're going to have a big visitor day on the 6th with the grand opening. So they're saving them for that. I agree with both. What are you doing in your region is okay.
And I was just wondering whether it sets a standard for having events where there's no visitors. That's all I was thinking about,
Yeah.
unintended consequences. One more question. When are we selecting leadership team roles? Is that after week 2?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Something to add?
Yeah, I was going to add one thing to that. This is why the launch director is still working with the support director during this phase. We're continuing to grow. This is kind of like the launch director is kind of acting like the visitor host or the handling the orientation and thing like that. What we've seen in a lot of regions, keep in mind this is still relatively new. It's been in existence in the U.S. in a lot of regions for a little bit over a year now.
4 years.
Yeah, well,
Actually,
4 years technically, but officially kind of rolled out solid. What they're seeing is when visitors come in, they get a portion of the training that's going on, and then the launch director works with them. So they get a kind of a brief snippet. They're like, this is more than just networking. We're learning how to build our business. We're learning all these things. I want to be a part of this. And that's what they're finding by allowing them in for this, but that launch, they're not with the other, they're kind of sitting with that launch director who's showing them through the process. They haven't applied yet or anything like that, but the launch director is now working them through that process. This is why we're seeing chapters going from 25 initially in that first month, to 30, to 35, to 40. Getting those people in there quickly through this first phase. But that's why working together as a team, launch director, support director. John, I see you got a question.
Just my observation about that. In terms of the culture difference.
Yep.
I can see how it can work in the US and in Europe. In the individualistic culture, they look at things and they evaluate the merits of the things and they make a decision. But in Asia, where this community culture is strong, when a new visitor comes in, the first thing that comes to their mind is not the content, wow, it's a great value. It's what comes to their mind is, oh, I feel like I don't belong here. Everybody is close to each other, and I feel awkward. So we tried that, so it just didn't work well. So the way we did was break it into 2 sections, and then we run certain portion for the visitors, and then after that we send them off, and then we have the internal sessions.
Okay. Great.
I think that's great. It goes to what Jen was saying. This is why you need to figure out in your region what would work best.
That's right.
Working with the executive director or area director on it.
Absolutely.
Precisely to the point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in the slide decks, there's actually at the very end is the visitor orientation, because we want to make sure that they are excited if they want to join. But absolutely, absolutely, either way works. Like I said, I'm a fan of both. Both work depending on your circumstances. So great questions. Okay, gonna move on to the entire year. So let's take a look at what this first year chapter success plan looks like. You're not supposed to be able to read it, it's pretty small, but I just wanted to show you what the at a glance looks like. So there's a couple of pages in the beginning, and again, I'll show you that, but it maps out everything that we're doing for the whole year, and I'm gonna take you through each one of these individually. In addition, within the guidebook, there are a few things that I abbreviated throughout the program because it's really hard to keep typing educational moment, or pre-education moment, post-education moment, or what have you. So we abbreviated a few things. It's all in the guidebook for you. All right, month 2. We're still building relationships. They're running their chapter. They've got a lot on their plate. They just learned their new role. They're running it. They're being visitor hosts at the same time as they're trying to pass referrals and do all of these things. So we're continuing on with some relationship building. Speed networking. And we have actually added speed networking to the first 2 or 3 weeks of this second month. Again, depending on what they need and how the chapter is working. Why did we choose speed networking instead of having them do their feature presentations? Because that's a lot. They just started their chapter. They're just trying to figure out when they're supposed to stand up. Seriously. So there's so much for them to learn, and if we found that people were getting overwhelmed, and now they had to prepare for a 10-minute presentation, and they were just very overwhelmed. Too much. So it's okay, we're gonna extend, we're gonna do a little speed networking. Again, now we've got new visitors, we've got new members that have come in since the first 25, and we're gonna do that for a couple of weeks. So that is part of what's going on. And actually, there is the questions that they get to answer during those weeks. So it's not just a unstructured speed networking, it actually has questions for them so they can really get to start to know each other if they haven't had those one-to-ones yet. Because 5 weeks, 6 weeks, have they had one-to-ones with 25 people? No. All right. The pre-education moment is what to expect during the speed networking this month. Then the director does a feature presentation maybe a week later. And it's how to make your one-to-ones more effective. Again, you tell them what a one-to-one is, you told them once, but that was 4 weeks ago. Do they really know what a one-to-one is yet? No. Don't you have some seasoned members that still don't know what an effective one-to-one is?
Yes.
Okay, so we keep telling them over and over again. So we do an a full presentation on that. And then the next week after that, to talk about all those one-to-ones, the education coordinator comes in with a scripted education moment for this brand new education coordinator. They don't have to come up with all of them themselves. Now we have teaching them how to enter their slips with the app and the computer, however they want to do it. Because now they're having all these one-to-ones. Okay, that's month 2. Month 3, oh yeah? Yes, there are.
I'm good at numbers.
No, okay, let me, yes. So while we have planned out the entire year for them, we haven't planned out every single week. So that allows, thank you, that allows the support director and the education coordinator and the leadership team to work together on additional pieces of education that they want to add. So it's not so scripted out that they can't customize it, okay? So while we have, this month has 3 different pieces that are scripted out, the rest of it for the education coordinator that can be prescribed. Does that make sense? Okay, very good. Month 3, getting results. Remember, I said that the titles of these months are for the members. So I'm sure they want to get results, right? So we're going to talk to them about before we even get into the rest of month 3, this is about the time that we're going to have their first chapter success meeting. And you're probably thinking, wow, Jen, that's a really long time. But is it? But is it? So if we're looking at month 3, the beginning of month 3, they've only been a chapter for 2 months. How much data do they even have at that point to look at in the meeting? So we want a little bit of data to come through. We want them to start tracking things and putting in slips. We've been telling them how to do it. Told them twice so far. So we want to work with them to have that chapter success meeting. And of course, the chapter director consultant is there with them, helping them run the chapter success meeting. Okay? Star there is to help them discuss the next growth event. So if you had a growth event on week 6 with the big chapter kickoff, great, then schedule one for 3 months later. If you haven't had one yet, you need to have one soon. And it doesn't have to be an extravagant event if they don't want that, but work with them and feel and figure out what's working, also what might be working in your region or your country. So the education moment is the reticular activator. Who knows, have you done the reticular activator exercise? You know what it is? Raise your hands if you do. Oh, okay. So I would like for you to all help me out, and we're going to run through a quick activity. Look around the room and note to yourself everything that is red. Everything that's red, my red. What else is red? Just to yourself, just think about it. Memorize all the things that are red. Her bag. Somebody's watch. All the red things. Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay? Red. Red. Pens. Cards. Pens. Okay? All right. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Close your eyes. Now, out loud, I would like you to tell me, don't open your eyes. I would like you to tell me what in the room is blue. Oh, no, close your eyes. Okay, her shirt is blue. We got 1. The water bottle's blue. We got 2. Don't open your eyes. I saw that, Grace.
Only see the red.
You only see the red. Okay, open your eyes.
Sophia, what? I only see red.
Yes, I only see the color red.
Yes, you only see the color
Red everywhere.
Yes.
But look, there's blue everywhere. Jacket, jacket, jacket. Water bottle, water. Candy. We've got blue everywhere. Yeah, blue. Blue shirts all around. That's because what we focus on is what we can see. What we ask for, what we can see. So this is an education moment right before the director does a feature presentation about being really specific. hard is it to get members to be specific? It's so hard. It's so hard. They don't understand it. They want to say, and I do this, and I do this, and I do that. This is one trick to get them to think about one thing. Okay? So anyway, that leads up to the director presentation and being specific. Month 4, the referral process. Have they been passing referrals already? Yeah, absolutely. Have they been passing good referrals already? Maybe. So it's about time that we start, they're building relationships now, that's good. They know how to do one-to-ones now. They need to learn, be a little more specific about the referral process. So we teach them about that. And there's an emphasis on follow-up and making sure that they are continuing to do that. Month 5, Givers Gain. What? We don't talk about Givers Gain until month 5?
Yeah.
We talk about Givers Gain all the time. But we're going to focus on it on week 5 because the focus really is about, first of all, what is it? But Givers Gain in action, and that talks about giving referrals and reporting thank you for closed business. Because you're giving back to the chapter member by reporting it when they give you a referral. Right? How hard is it to get thank you for closed business report? They don't understand it. Right? They think they're telling you how much they make. So this will help alleviate some of that as well. It's about Givers Gain. Tracking your BNI activity and giving the recognition back to the person who gave you the referral. Brilliant. All right. Month 6 is about supporting your newest members. At this point, they should have lots of new members. But we waited until month 6 to do the Passport to Success. Who can tell me why you think we waited until month 6?
So they know what to teach them as far as the roles and things like that. So because otherwise they're sort of going, oh my God, I'm going to teach you this and I'm
Yes.
going to be doing it for 5 minutes.
Yes, that's exactly what we found. When we've started new chapters, and I've done this multiple times the wrong way. When we, in the beginning, said, you're gonna be the mentor coordinator, and they're looking at me going, but I don't even know how to do it myself. How am I teaching other people? So that's when you get the ambassador to help. That's when you get the directors to help. And they're helping out with the brand new members until you get to about month 6. And then you introduce the passport, where we do it in such a way that everybody in the chapter is going to go through it together. One second, because my computer says it's going to update unless I postpone it. So hold on. I don't want to lose the whole thing. That was scary. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we do wait. We wait for the formal program so that everyone feels comfortable being a brand new member and that they can teach brand new members. It doesn't mean that we're not helping new members that come in for the first 6 months. It means that maybe the members aren't doing it by themselves. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay.
Do you mean that the actual founding members do or do not go through the passport program?
Oh, they do.
Good,
We
okay.
take every single member at this point is going to start the passport program together.
So the mentor coordinator will walk them through it, or how do we do that?
Well, the mentor coordinator is going to work with the director to walk everyone through it.
Great, thank you.
The passport's really supposed to be self-led, so now they're learning what that whole process looks like. We still assign a mentor coordinator in the first month, the first 5 weeks, and we assign them, but we also let them know that they're gonna help out as much as they can, but that the official program will start in month 6. Okay? I lost my clicker. Month 7. So last month was supporting your newest members. This month is supporting all of your members. What do you think this month is about?
Retention.
And what's the best way to retain members?
Say it.
Contact spheres.
She likes her own mic. Contact spheres. Yes. So they may have seen this before. You may have used this when you were forming a chapter. That's okay. They may have seen it many times. They're going to see it again. Because what do adult learners need?
Repetition.
Repetition. Right. So we've got this. We're going to teach them all about this. The pre-education moment is who gives you the best referrals. So you get them in the mindset of thinking about who gives them the best referrals so that they can understand this a little bit better. And we're going to teach them that they can support all of their members by having an equalized chapter and not having just certain contact spheres. And we do that in the feature presentation by asking the members if everyone here has an equal opportunity. Oh, sorry, and they build their top 10 list after that presentation the next week. Okay, month 8, building your referral team. We talk about a BNI success story. The director gives a presentation called Give the Ultimate Referral Gift. And what do you guys think the ultimate referral gift is? Feedback is great, it's a gift. But in this case, we're talking about referral gift. The referral gift would be bringing someone into the chapter that can give me loads of referrals. So inviting the contact sphere people that you made the top 10 list last month, now we're going to act on it. Okay? How am I on time?
4 o'clock.
Ah, okay. Okay, month 9. Advanced one-to-ones. So we first talk about the gains exchange, because if they have not been doing their one-to-ones using a gains exchange, because by month 9 they forgot, they got lazy, they stopped doing it, or they did it with the first 10 people and now they're not doing it anymore, we remind them that that's a great place to start. We're not saying don't use gains exchange. But if they're already doing that, and now they're having more one-to-ones, and they need to know what to do at their second one-to-one, third one-to-one, or to add a little pizzazz and spice to their one-to-ones and make them even more effective, we've got an advanced one-to-ones question sheet for them. Yeah. Now remember, all of these materials, including the handouts, all the PowerPoints are scripted, everything is ready for you and your education coordinators. Month 10. Member goals. And again, I know some of you are thinking, what do you mean? You haven't talked about goals yet.
I was gonna say.
What? Hey, if they're goal oriented, they've already made their goals. Great. That's great. But if they haven't been in BNI long enough, they don't even know what BNI can do for them yet. So it's okay. Because, again, the ones that are going to make their own goals, they've already done it. They're not waiting for you. But the ones that need a little push, they need to know what their personal goals are. So we take them through how much money do they want to make over the next, there it is, over the next 12 months. What is their transaction average? What is their closing ratio that they might know a little bit better now? What's your closing ratio for referrals, which now they've gotten a little taste of. And they can calculate how many referrals they need to receive per month and etc. So again, there's a whole presentation on that for you. Looks a little bit like that on the right. What is it they're trying to build their business for? So it's not just about building their business, it's about thinking outside the box and truly setting a goal for their life. And so we walk them through that very quickly. Okay.
do want to add one thing on this. There's a hidden element to this. Why are we looking at goals in month 10? Lisa probably has the answer for us. Why?
Renewals.
Renewals. Yes, retention. 10-month mark, we want to start them thinking about their B&I goals for the next year. That's why, a hidden element to this. All right?
Thank you.
We want them to be thinking about, what am I going to do with B&I next year? What am I going to see? I'm already seeing some referrals. I'm seeing some revenue. Boy, let me show you what I'm going to do next year with this. That's all I had.
No, that's great, thank you. Yes, John?
This question was, would you recommend that in the existing chapters, new members also do the goal setting in the 10th month?
Okay, no, not necessarily the 10th month. So the question was, in an established chapter, when new members come in, do we want to wait until month 10 to have them set their own goals? I can answer it or you can.
Go ahead.
So, not necessarily, John. This is definitely a lead up to the next month on this particular thing, but we have the member accelerator, which would be done, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, so thank you for the lead up for that, and we'll show you about when we think that might be appropriate, but not month 10. Yeah, good. So this is a lead up, not only to retention and getting them thinking about renewing and their next year's goals, but also we went from personal goals to chapter goals. So we let them think about themselves first, and then the next month we focus on what the chapter needs. What are the chapter's goals for Thank You for Closed Business? That's just one of them. What is then if they have that for Thank You for Closed Business, how many members do they need to have? They've set a top 10 list. Have they filled it yet? So all of this is building. This education is building up to what? A visitor day, right? So not only are they going to have their renewals, and we're going to get 100% of renewals, but we're also going to have brand new members because now they're excited to continue building their chapter and not stop and not get stagnant. Month 12, happy 1-year anniversary and a growth event. So the education moment that we have here, it's all explained. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but it talks about the economic multiplier. And what that means is when I spend $5 in my economy and I put $5 back into businesses that are in my community, how much money does that multiply throughout my community? In the US, it's approximately a 4% increase, or excuse me, a 4 times increase, not percent, a 4 times increase. I looked it up for Vietnam. Didn't it say 8 or 9 on the screen? Yeah, so that's amazing. So that means just by passing business within your chapter, you are contributing to the whole community and growing the whole community. So it brings it out into this big, now we're talking about not just us, right? So, okay, there are 3 examples of feature presentations for this event. I'm sure you have great presentations that you do in your regions and countries already. By the way, please send them to me. I would love to add them to this program so that we can have more. But there are some scripted out for you in case you need some new ones, fresh ideas. Whew. That was a whole year. How'd you like that? Good?
Yeah.
Does it make more sense now?
Yes.
That's a lot. Okay. Now that the whole year we have all planned out, let's say that you don't have this implemented in your country or region yet. How would you go about doing that? So let's talk a little bit more about that because I'm super excited. This is my super excited face. If you love this program, I'm super excited for you and your chapters, and let's look at how we can implement that. All right, what does the rollout plan look like? Well, go ahead and implement this with your very next chapter launch with approval. Okay? your very next chapter launch, which could be in 6 weeks from now. All right, so we're gonna do that. Don't wait. Just get it ready. It is plug and play. It is ready for you. There's still some logistics, but there's logistics with every chapter launch. So it's ready for you. Just use it. Familiarize yourself with the materials. I could not stress this more. How hard is it to present someone else's presentation? It's pretty difficult. So please read through them, practice them. Make any edits you need for localization, of course, and decide who on your team is going to best do this program. How is this going to work for you logistically? Who's going to be doing it? Who's going to try it first? Maybe one of your top support directors and so forth. You got that person in mind? Is it you? I would love to do it. Okay. That was my favorite part of launching chapters, was the education phase. I didn't like the launching part so much, but I really like the education phase. Okay, best practices and recommendations. Understand that you can actually use this for VILT and ILT. So it works just as well online. In fact, the slides were made during 21 when we were still doing most of our launches online. And so we kept it that way, but they are totally workable for the in-person as well. Part of this process, even in the launch part and leading into this, is making sure that your showcase chapters are really good, because that motivates them to want to learn how to be great as well. So make sure they're trained. Clarify the expectations throughout the core group process. So what we're talking about here is making sure that the launch director understands this process too, so they can speak to it. It's motivational. It's inspiring. I want to get that extra learning. I want to be a part of the brand new chapter so I can go to these trainings and I can get this extra training. So your launch directors need to know that and be able to speak to it. All right, determine what your leadership team training process will be. So that's the part that we did not pre-script for you. So the idea here is that you would take some e-learning, if that works for your country and region. You would take the e-learnings to get them to understand how to put in a POEMS report and the bare minimum of what they are doing for their leadership roles, okay? But we know that that's not enough, and so we didn't prescribe what leadership team training looks like for you and your regions. So that part is up to you, and it should still come in the first 5 weeks, and it explains that also in the guidebook. A little secret is the US is testing out a program right now to be able to do leadership team training for the entire chapter in a online format, a live online format. So when we get that perfected, we'll share it with you, and if you'd like to use it, you can. All right. Woo. What questions do you have about this program before we wrap up?
Can I add one thing with this?
No.
So the first year chapter success plan, it's designed really around that newly launched chapter. But are there elements of this that can be used in existing chapters? Yes. So many of these trainings, education moments, opportunities for that support director when there's a problem with goal setting, or you're working with specific members on helping them to do better one-to-ones. There's the advanced one-to-one section in here. There's building contact spheres. There's trainings there that not only help newly launched chapters, but existing chapters as well. If I were a support director and I'm like, well, I've got this chapter, they're not doing contact spheres, or they're not building power teams, it's in there.
Yeah.
There's specific education moments. So use this tool for more than just launching chapters and getting them through their first year. We're seeing tremendous success with this. Retention rate of over 70%, first year member retention in these newly launched chapters following this progress, some over 80%. It's getting them to work together as a team, learn together, and they apply these together. And we're building these communities.
And that's why we work as a team. It's great to have a co-trainer because you can't remember everything you were gonna say. Thank you. All right, quickly, questions before Murali wraps up the support training. Yes.
We need a
Tôi có một câu hỏi. Tôi thấy cái lộ trình cho cái chapter đầu tiên này rất là hay. Nhưng mà tôi tự hỏi là không biết cái thành viên mà khi vào sau ấy thì họ sẽ không có, họ biết cái thông tin này thì cái cách mà chúng ta xử lý cái thông tin đó cho tất cả những thành viên đều có cái lộ trình 12 tháng như này, hoặc ít nhất họ biết thì cái hành trình này của chapter thì như vậy cái sự thành công của họ sẽ tốt hơn. Thì không biết là chúng ta đã có cái chương trình gì. Tôi đến đây tôi cũng chưa biết được cái chương trình đó.
He said that this is fantastic for the new chapter, especially the core chapter. But what about existing chapter for our chairman? So, what kind of program we're going to have to help them?
It's not.
Which one?
It's not him in.
I saw your hand go up. Did you?
It's not him in.
I think his question is actually when you already onboarding everybody throughout the first 12 months, how about new members coming in after that? New members after the first year success plan, how can we do the rotations in an organic way?
Okay, great. So great question. I think you can actually do parts of this again because it's been a year since the chapter's heard it. So how many times have you, as a support director, gone into a chapter and delivered the same presentation? Maybe not one right after another, but maybe a year ago, and they need it again. So you can repeat a lot of the materials and go through it again. And also remember, by that time, they will have their own mentor coordinator. So does that help? Does that answer?
Jen, I might be able to
Yeah,
add
please, go
also.
ahead.
Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the first year member learning journey.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we're going to take you through that new member's first year. The training opportunities and things like that, the development of a new member, is those that are joining existing chapters primarily, not just a newly launched chapter, the members of a newly launched chapter. We're going to focus on that first year, join an existing chapter. We're going to take you through that journey tomorrow.
Thank you, Steve. All right. So I forgot that it was going to show you this, the guidebook itself. But again, you did also get it in the chat. But just real quick, here, let me just show you that the table of contents is clickable. And so you can go to common questions, which talks a little bit more about, well, how do we do leadership team training? Are there visitors permitted? You know, because we asked some of those questions already. What do we use for the leadership team training and the roles? When do we start taking attendance and things like that? So that's built in here as well. You go through, and here is the at a glance that I showed you on the screen earlier in pictures. And it just explains at a very high level what the agenda items are. But if you go down even further, then we start getting into week 1. And the first 5 weeks, remember, is completely scripted. Everything that you're going to do during that meeting, and also the emails. So let me show you. Here's a pre-meeting checklist. These links work for the academy if you have access. It also notes that anything in green needs to be individualized for that chapter. So we have the pre-meeting checklist, we have the presentation elements, so you can look ahead in advance and see which support director can help out maybe with a specific week that is something that they do really well and have that planned out. You also have week 1 after meeting tasks. We have the week 1 follow-up email with links to the pieces that you're going to put in. If you use email, we use email a lot, but if you use email, use those. If not, you can still copy and paste it into WhatsApp or the communication tool that you're using. Remember, again, red is something they need to change. It is literally plug and play. It tells you everything you need to do for the first 5 weeks. And then let's look at, just very quickly, we go down a little bit more and get to one of the months. They are a little more, a little less material information here because it's really just a feature presentation and education moments. Pro tips, clicks, information. All right, that's what I wanted to show you, just an overview. Yes, Christine?
I do have a question. So, what would be your advice for like country like us or any other countries that have new chapters launched within the first year, but our journey is totally different? Like, what would be the rollout plan recommended by you? So we have like 10 that is at month 3 already, and then the 12 is at month 6 already, and then another 20 is at month 7.
Yeah.
So what would kind of be like the first master plan rollout for a country?
That's a great question. And we know that every chapter is different, right? So I would individually look at those chapters from a high level and see what they need the most and plug in the pieces that they're missing. Especially the ones that are at 7 months, I would definitely still do the goals, the personal goals, the chapter goals, and lead them up to a visitor day. But that's what I would do. There's no full answer, but I would just look and see which pieces you need to add in for them. In fact, the ones that are at 3 months, it's almost just start where they are at 3 months. Yeah. All right?
Yes.
Okay, like I said, Morali's going to wrap up. And Morali, when you're done, I just have an announcement about tomorrow. Okay?
Excellent.